What if people were willing to pay money just to sit in a room and listen to you talk? No tricks, no performance, no magic. Just you. In the early 1800s in London, there was a man so unusual that newspapers called him the most curious man in the world. Not because he was powerful, not because he was noble, but because he weighed over 300 kilograms, and somehow turned that fact into fame, fortune, and a lasting legacy. This is the story of Daniel Lambert, the man who proved that charisma can outwear appearance. Daniel Lambert was born in 1770 in Leicester, England, and contrary to what many people imagine, he was not always large. As a boy, Daniel was strong, energetic, and fearless. He loved hunting, fishing, horse racing, and even wrestling wild animals. There is a famous story from his youth. During a bear exhibition, one of Daniel's dogs attacked the bear. The animal turned violent, and Daniel fought it off using nothing but a pole. He was brave, physically powerful, full of life. No one at the time could have imagined what he would later become known for. In his early 20s, Daniel took over his father's job as a local prison keeper. It was a stable position, but one with very little physical activity. Days of sitting, watching, waiting, and slowly, his body began to change. By 1793, Daniel weighed over 200 kilograms, yet even then, he was remarkably strong. Reports say he could lift 250 kilograms of timber and even swim while carrying 2 grown men on his back. But time passed. The prison eventually closed, and Daniel's weight kept increasing. By the early 1800s, he weighed more than 300 kilograms, and with no job and few opportunities left, Daniel faced a difficult choice. Instead of hiding from the world, Daniel Lambert made a bold decision. He leaned into what made him different. In 1806, he traveled to London in a specially designed carriage built to carry his enormous body. Then he placed an advertisement in the Times. Exhibition: Daniel Lambert, the most curious man in the world, weighing over 300 kilograms, will receive visitors daily. People came in hundreds. At first, they came out of curiosity, but they stayed for something else entirely. What shocked visitors was not just Daniel's size, it was his mind. Daniel Lambert was articulate, warm, and endlessly knowledgeable. He spoke at length about dogs, hunting, sports, politics, and daily life. He listened carefully. He joked. He made people feel comfortable. A journalist from the Times wrote, "Visitors expecting a spectacle instead found a gentleman, intelligent, pleasant, and far more engaging than anticipated." Interestingly, many reports noted that women visited him more often than men, and openly admired his intelligence and confident masculinity. Daniel Lambert proved something rare. Charm is not defined by appearance. Presence is not limited by the body. People didn't just look at him, they remembered him. Daniel's reputation spread quickly. He was visited by famous figures, including the Polish Count Józef Borowski, and even met King George III. When Daniel returned to Leicester, he was wealthy and celebrated as a local hero. He continued touring England, drawing crowds wherever he went. But in 1809, during a stay in Stamford, Daniel suddenly fell ill. While shaving one morning, he struggled to breathe. Within minutes, he passed away. He was only 39 years old. Why Daniel Lambert still matters. Daniel Lambert's death was as extraordinary as his life. It took 20 men to carry his custom-made coffin. But his story did not end there. His name became a symbol. Pubs were named after him. Wax statues were created in his image. Daniel Lambert became a phrase used to describe immense size. Yet today, his legacy is not about weight. It's about how he spoke, how he carried himself, how he refused to be reduced to his appearance. In a world obsessed with looks, Daniel Lambert reminds us, you don't need to be beautiful to be captivating. You need to be interesting. You need to be human. And sometimes, that's more powerful than any body ever could be.